2024, I traded live in front of 18,000 people and managed to generate $200,000 worth of prop firm payouts just like these, all using one simple scalping strategy. And let me tell you that it's so stupidly simple that even those of you who are a few sandwiches short of a picnic basket can trade it and be profitable. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the exact 4-step process that you can follow to make $4,000 per day in 2025. And I'm going to take a trade with it in real time to show you exactly how it works.
Right, so we're just hopping into this trade right now based on the breakout and retest of the zone. We're getting in a little bit late here. I'm literally trading while putting my contact lenses in. And my contact lenses are done, and we're back in profit. Multitasking at its best. Alright, so it's finally pushed past the zone that I want, and so I'm going to move my stop loss to the entry point. So we are now break even on this trade. So close to the profit target, and it's it's rejecting it. And those are the moments when you really get tested. And there you go, folks. Profit target hit. So $4,000 for the day. Not a bad result for roughly an hour's worth of work.
Right, so let's have a look at the Crown Club breakout, and we're going to go through all 4 steps. These steps are so simple that it really becomes intuitive after a while. So let's go through them in detail and show you exactly how they apply to the real life market. So we've got step 1, where we identify 4-hour key zones. We then get step 2, where we identify the 5-minute range. Step 3, we then wait for a break and closure and observe the 50 simple moving average. And then step 4, we observe the 5 confluences and enter the trade. That's it. That's all you have to do. So let's have a look at how this works in real life. So we're here on German 40. We like to trade German 40 in the London session, and we trade the NAS 100 or NASDAQ, or you can trade NQ on futures as well with this particular strategy on the New York session. So the German 40, if you look at it on the 4-hour, which is step 1, identifying 4-hour key zones, we're going to identify some 4-hour key zones here real quick. And what I like to do is look from right to left. So if we look from right to left, where has the market created a reaction, okay, which typically looks like this. So like this, okay, for example. That's a pretty good example right there. We've also got something right here. We don't really have anything above, okay, nothing above us. So there's not much to look at. And the reason we identify these zones, and a few people have said, oh, why do you even look at these zones if sometimes they don't play a role? The thing is, they don't always play a role. However, they do determine the direction we're trading within. Because if, for example, this is our 4-hour zones, okay, and price is currently over here, well, that means that we're free to trade in both the up and down directions because we have space to trade within, right? There's space available. However, in a different scenario, if price is sitting all the way down at this zone, well, what direction are we going to trade in? We're only going to trade up because there's no space for us to trade into this. We don't want to trade into this 4-hour zone. And at this point, what we would want to do is wait for price to then break below on the 4-hour so that we can then continue to take trades away from this zone. We want to take trades away from these zones. However, if price is currently over here and it's far away from the zones, then we're pretty much free to do what we want. And it's at that point that some people say, well, maybe it doesn't play any role. Well, it does, especially if you are down here, okay? We want to know how much space we have and that's going to determine what directions we can trade in. If we are over here, we can trade in any direction we want because there's space to go in all directions. If we are above, on the 4 hour, we can take trades going up. Okay, so let's have a look at the 4 hour zones here real quick, and let me mark them up for you. So you can see right away we've had a V-shaped reaction here. We've got these wicks over here. So I'm going to mark this on with a blue box as a potential zone. Okay, that's on the 4 hour. We can mark this up down here, but I mean, we are literally almost a day away from this data down here, so I'm not even going to look at that. We've also got a zone over here that I'm going to mark up. Okay, so these are the two zones. There's none above where price is. Usually we would look for somewhere above, but as you can see, if we zoom out, there is nothing. We're currently at a high point in the market. So after we've marked up the 4 hour zones, we understand that we are currently pretty far away from any of them. And so we can technically trade with buys or sell. So step 2 is identifying the 5-minute range. Okay, so let's have a look at the 5-minute zones. So what we do on the 5-minute is identify the range that we're going to trade from. So as we can see here, there's quite a clear range that has developed, but how do we know this? Okay, you might ask. So again, I'm going to go from right to left. Now there's a few things we want to be aware of. Now, as we can see here, there is a V-shaped reaction right here, and that's what I'm looking for. Once again, I'm looking for places where price has done this. So if we go from right to left, we can see right here, price did this. If we continue to the left, we can see price did this. There's your range. Super easy. However, there's a few extra things that I want to see from this. I want to see another supporting zone, okay? So if we've got this shape, I want to see something else happen down the line that lines up with this, okay? If that makes sense. So as we can see here, if we draw on our range, which I will mark out with yellow, and we pull to the left, well, there's a supporting zone right here, okay? And so for me, that's a really good range. And then if we look at the lower end of the range, this is what we just marked out. We pull it to the left, we can see that price has reacted here, plus there's a gap over here. So we can actually just include this. Again, this is a bit tricky since there's a gap on the German index. We usually have some of these gaps. But again, I like that there's price intersecting and reacting at this point in the past. So you can see that price came up to here and reacted, right? So that is pretty clean for me. So that's the lower zone, and this is the upper zone. Now there's another thing that we want to also take into consideration, and that is space. How much space do we have for these trades to play out? So in this example, obviously we've got infinite space, right? We've got at least, at least the 50 points that we need to take profit, because on the management of these trades, we're looking at generally at a 50 pip take profit. So if we also look below, there's a ton of space, right? We've got a zone down here as well, which we can easily get 25 points from, which is our break-even point, okay? So both of these zones are valid for those reasons. So those are the 5-minute zones identified. Then we wait for a break and closure and observe the 50 SMA. So as we can see here, price broke this zone and it's closed above. Now let's observe the 50 SMA. As we can see, the 50 SMA has been trending upward for some time. As you can see, it's trending upward, okay? And currently we are pointing upwards with the SMA. So that is a huge green flag for me. Things are looking good on this particular trade. So what do we do next? We observe the 5 confluences, which is what I'm going to show you in a second, and enter. Okay, what are the 5 confluences? So the 5 confluences are these. Is the 50 SMA trending? We just established that yes it is. It's trending, and if you zoom out, it's been pushing upward for quite some time, okay? And it's pointing upwards. So the 50 SMA is in fact trending. Is the 4-hour zone a green flag for us. Okay, yes it is, because we're far away from it. There's space for us to trade. Okay, so an example of when it's not going to be a green flag is if we are currently trading inside of the zone, or if we're trying to take a sell into this particular zone, or similarly take a buy into this zone. So as we can see, the 4 hour zone is correct. Now, is price overextended? So as we can see now, if we're entering this particular trade, we're entering over here with our 25 pip stop loss. Okay, are we going to be overextended? Well, no, because our target would be roughly 50 points, and we are just over here currently. So currently we are not overextended. Okay, if we were overextended, it would mean that price goes all the way up close to take profit before coming down with some momentum to tag us in, because then we've got a chance of price continuing momentum and taking us out. Okay, so currently we are not overextended. So that means that we are green on overextended. Now the S&P 500 correlation only applies to the NASDAQ. So in this example, by default, it's a green. We can skip this. Again, we only look at this on the NASDAQ. And you will have seen me look at it in previous videos where I show off this particular strategy. Now, is price imbalanced? Okay, and that just refers to having an imbalance underneath the entry of this trade. So as we can see, there's not much imbalance. There was an imbalance here, but it was filled already. Okay, and depending on how this candle here, the next candle forms, we should be okay, because this here is actually an imbalance within our stop loss. When we're looking at if price is imbalanced, we're actually looking to see if there's any significant imbalances in price below our stop loss. Okay, and in this case, there are none. So this is a very, very solid setup. The 5 confluences are all good to go. And so what we would then do is look to enter here, okay, with our credentials for entry, which is entering on the retest and hesitation. So what we want to do is see price come back, hesitate at this level for a little bit, perhaps reject and leave a wick, okay, and then we see it push. Okay, we see that in real time. Obviously I can't see that on bar replay right now, but we do trade this all completely live on our Discord in the university. We also give our analysis on the Crown Club, so you can join on the link below, and we will give you these zones every day for free and show you our game plan before we get into any trades. And we do that every single day. And then on our university channel, we take the trades completely live and record all of them and the results, and every day that's posted for everyone to see. So complete transparency. So if you want to join that, the link to join will be in the description down below. So essentially now what we're looking for is for price to come back. It's going to hesitate, perhaps reject, and then push to our target if things work out well. This potential trade here is looking very, very good. So as you can see, price breaks above, rejects this level here. We would have gotten in here after we saw the rejection, right? That happens in real time. Obviously I can't do that on bar replay. Okay, we then do a bit of a deeper pullback into the zone and push up. Now, once we get to 1-to-1 risk reward, which will be roughly here, if we measure 1-to-1 risk reward, it's roughly here. We then set our stop loss at the entry point, protecting our trade. Okay, that means that we're either going to get stopped out with no profit and no loss, or we're going to hit our take profit. And in this example, we hit our take profit. This particular example actually goes on quite a lot. So that is exactly how the Crown Club breakout works, in conjunction with the 5 confluence system, which works extremely well to identify high quality setups. This here is the setup, and this is how you can determine whether it's a high quality setup or not. And I've shown that all to you in this video today. So thank you to everybody for watching. If you want to join the group where we give our analysis every single day for free, then please click the link in the description below. You can join for free and we share our game plan with you every single day. And then we trade live in the university channel and post the results and the recordings all in the Crown Club Discord. So I'll see you guys there. Cheers.